May 1945. The world breathed a collective sigh of relief as the war in Europe ended. Streets filled with jubilation, and across a shattered continent, the arduous task of rebuilding began. But as nations celebrated the dawn of a new era, destiny was quietly taking shape in a small, rural village in Poland. Roughly 9 months later, Romana and Ludwik Zabicki prepared for an event of arguably greater historical significance. On the freezing night of March 4th, 1946, beneath the glow of a singular brilliant star, they awaited a miracle. This would be no ordinary child. This was a force of nature. From his very first moments, it was abundantly clear. Mark possessed a striking maturity, an old soul, fully prepared to make a splash in the modern world. It didn't take long for his parents to realize they had a prodigy on their hands. Mark possessed a ravenous thirst for knowledge and a strict, self-imposed regimen of advanced hydration. By the tender age of 2, it became glaringly obvious that the rustic Polish countryside could no longer contain his raw potential. Europe was simply too small. So, Romana and Ludwik packed their lives and relocated to the undisputed cultural epicenter of the world. Hamtramck, Michigan. Here, away from the quiet snowdrifts of Starchenau, the young prodigy was finally free to let his unique talents flourish. And flourish he did. While historical records claim he didn't master the accordion until later in his youth, neighborhood legend insists he arrived in America fully equipped. With just a few high-octane polkas, he became a Pied Piper of sorts, mesmerizing the local feral cats and leading a furry, polka-crazed procession through the streets of Hamtramck. By 1958, the Zabicki family was a pillar of the Michigan community. With the arrival of Barbara in 1948 and Roman in 1953, the household was full, guided by the steady hands of Romana and Ludwik. Young Mark was a model of mid-century discipline, whether serving as a pint-sized maritime specialist in the Scouts or posing for his grade school portrait. He projected an image of quiet, suburban normalcy. His education at St. Andrews provided a firm moral foundation. It was here, under the watchful eyes of the Sisters of Mercy, that Mark learned the true meaning of divine intervention, usually delivered via a 12-inch wooden ruler. His career reached a fever pitch at Ford Auditorium. Performing alongside the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, Mark delivered a performance so electrifying, the sold-out crowd was moved to a near riot of applause. But the world could not ignore his genius for long. In October 1958, Accordion Weekly shocked the music industry by naming 12-year-old Mark a child prodigy sensation. Critics were stunned to learn his career didn't start in Detroit, but years earlier in Poland, where neighborhood legend insists he had already mastered the secrets of the polka before he could even tie his own shoes. Mark balanced his fame with a heart for the marginalized. At the local science fair, he swept first prize with the left-handed screwdriver, a revolutionary tool designed to ease the daily struggles of a misunderstood minority. In 1960, Mark entered Orchard Lake St. Mary's. This historic Polish-American institution was designed to train leaders, though its strictly traditional curriculum struggled to keep pace with his vision. For his 1964 senior prom, Mark eschewed the traditional tuxedo for a custom-tailored ensemble of recycled aluminum. He arrived looking like a time traveler from a very confused future, proving he was either decades ahead of his time or legally colorblind. Mark graduated as a true gentleman and scholar. His yearbook labeled him a future innovator, a title he had already earned with a screwdriver and a dream. Having conquered high school, Mark set his sights on the urban heart of Detroit, enrolling at Wayne State University to pursue a degree in advanced organizational dynamics. But Mark's thirst for knowledge was matched by a grueling work ethic. During the summers, he held an elite position in early grave management at the local cemeteries. He wasn't just cutting grass, he was a high-concept landscape architect, ensuring that even the local residents' final resting places were meticulously curated for maximum impact. His industrial spirit continued in the construction industry. As a master mason, he built foundations so structurally sound they are still used today as tactical bunkers by the local survivalist community. In the mid-70s, Mark's journey took an international turn. He embarked on a high-stakes diplomatic mission to the University of Warsaw, where destiny was waiting. It was here that Mark was instantly smitten by the beautiful, yet inexplicably reserved, Barbara Charbelowski. To the casual observer, she was a quiet, retiring wallflower, a soul who rarely, if ever, shared a strong opinion. Mark, in his infinite compassion, took it upon himself to coax Barbara out of her shell, helping her find the quiet, understated confidence she carries to this day. But the pinnacle of his professional journey was his dream job at Blue Cross Blue Shield. In this candid behind-the-scenes footage from his luxury human resources office, we see the sheer ecstasy of a man who has finally achieved administrative nirvana. The foundation was laid. Mark and Barbara were ready to embark on their most ambitious project yet, the building of a family. In November 1971, Mark and Barbara were wed in Warsaw, a union that solidified the Zabicki dynasty and officially gave Mark someone to argue with for the next 5 decades. The family soon expanded with the arrival of Katharina and Karina. Mark instilled in them the core Zabicki values: faith, family, hard work, and the absolute necessity of outperforming everyone in the room. His methods were clearly effective. Katharina rose to the top of the medical field as a physician, while Karina conquered the legal world as a lawyer, proving that even high-stakes genetics can be managed with the right administrative background. Today, his legacy continues through 4 grandchildren: Natalia, Alessandra, Tatiana, and Keitun, each of whom is currently being scouted for their potential as future accordion legends. In 2008, after decades of administrative dominance, Mark retired. Seeking a quieter life, the couple eventually relocated to the Milano community in Venice, Florida. But quiet is a relative term. In Milano, Mark and Barbara are known as the neighborhood's primary social architects, hosting dinner parties so legendary they are often monitored by local authorities for excessive levels of fun. When he isn't hosting, Mark serves as a volunteer community guardian. Whether he's patrolling the perimeter or personally relocating the local apex predators, Mark ensures the streets of Milano remain safe for everyone. At 80 years old, Mark Zabicki remains a man of mystery, a man of action, and most importantly, a man who still knows how to surprise us. 80 years, a lifetime of innovation, a legacy of family, and a man who has truly mastered the art of living. Happy birthday, Mark. And so, as the world prepares for Mark's next great era, We join his family in a wish that spans a century. In the timeless words of his heritage, Sto lat Mark.